Okay, Nick the Evinrude guy back with our assembly of our 96 15 horsepower Evinrude carburetor. Now, when I pulled this guy out of there, I do as I always do. I took the carburetor out of the solution. I took it and I rinsed it off with water real good. Then I put soap and water in a bucket and I slosh it around real good, soap and water. Rinse the soap and water off of it, dry it off, and then hit it with some carb cleaner just to make sure everything's right. Also, I take these little thin pieces of wire like this, these little thin wires, and the most sensitive portion of this carburetor, the smallest orifices on this, are right here, and these are are incorporated through your mixing chamber in the top, the mixing plate, and your idle screw, and this is where everything gets mixed in and deposited into the actual venturi of a carburetor. I take these a little wire like this, and I make sure that I go through and make sure all these little tiny holes, there's 3 of them in this one, are, I've already done it, so I'm not going to sit here and try to put the dang thing in there. Make sure those are clean. I also, at the very bottom of this carburetor, you can see in here now, add a little light to it, and you can see that that small inner tube, that is your idle tube. That's what pulls fuel up for the idle. The larger one on the inside, that's your high speed tube. That small tube, I will also take this little wire and run it up through there and run it back and forth. Make sure that that tube is free of any kind of debris or gunk or anything like that. If you do that, it will really it'll up your success rate if you're doing this quite a bit. I mean, that's one thing that I do all the time. Every carburetor I get into. Okay, now like we said before, I saved this gasket that goes on top for that little mixing plate, and so I'm gonna first get my parts out here, all my gadgets. Now, as I said, it comes with quite a few, you got quite a few options here. This is one kit for several different motors. So we'll lay all our gadgets out. We got one bowl gasket. We've got 2 different gaskets that made up to the reed. Now what we do here, we'll find out which one fits. That one right there is the one that fits. The smaller one is for the 9.9 horsepower. You see they've got smaller carburetor venturi size, ever so slightly, maybe 2 millimeters in overall diameter. So we got that for our 15. That's going to go with that carburetor. And then we've got a choice between these 2 guys here and this guy here. That's our matchup. We're going to superimpose those. Make sure that they're a perfect match. They are. So this is our new one of those. We're going to hold on to that. This guy here does not match up to it, so that'll go over there. This guy here matches up, except for it's a different color, and sometimes, well, no, it doesn't match up. Okay, so this is the one we're going to use. Sometimes a different color will be different thickness. So okay, we got the new one of those. We're going to get all this other stuff, older stuff, out of the way. We got a new one of those, new one of those. Got the one we're going to use here. We've got all our other stuff over there. Now, open this up, pour all those gadgets out. Now, I always save some of this other stuff. There's little tubes here. A lot of this stuff can be used on other carburetors, so I'll hold on to these gadgets. And then we have our needle and seat. Now, as we stated previously, this seat gets the plastic washer. Okay. So when we continue and get back to reassembling this thing, I always do the bowl first and get the bowl all taken care of. That way when I turn it up like that, the dip tube is protected. So I'm going to go ahead and get my the rest of this trash out of the way. Got my hammer over there, got a drip, I got a punch.
Oh God.
Okay, so
Hey, Nick.
We're going to get our seat in? Yeah.
Oh, sorry to bother you.
No problem.
How much did we tell that guy on that Opti?
25 installed.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure.
Is he back?
Yeah.
Yeah. Good, good.
Yeah, he's got the old thick motor. It's 25 inch. It looks like.
It's a 25 inch 115? Ugh.
Hey, you know what?
I thought it was a 20.
No, but at least that means they'll take that 25 inch we have in stock, and I mean, we'll worry about it later.
Okay.
You know, bigger fish to fry than that damn thing.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay. Okay, back at it. We got our seat in there, and we got our seat with the plastic spacer washer in there, and that picks that seat up a little bit, and allows it to. Actually, what it does is it gets it closer to the actual float itself, so when the float drops down, it'll actually shut that off. Without that spacer in there, it'll be too far from the float. The float will be all the way like this by the time it's trying to shut down, and it still won't shut down. So if you don't have that spacer in there, the motor will not run right. It'll flood out, and it'll be horrible. So one thing I like to do is the little small parts, like the clip on this needle. I like to get it all assembled and onto the float, just so I know where everything is. Now this little clip looks like this, and there's the needle. Real simple, goes in there, pops into place like that. Then this is going to face up. This little tang always faces up, so when the carburetor is assembled, that's going to face up. Okay. Right now, just for purposes, I'm holding this down because it's the way I assemble it. That's going to hang on there. So put that together. Set that guy off to the side. Okay. I am missing my jet. I must find the jet. I will be right back.